it's Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Here we're coming in another video that we want to share with you. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe to us on YouTube. We're bringing you the AT&T Samsung Galaxy Note 3, one of the most exciting, coolest, best phones I feel that's on the market right now. If you can handle the size of it, go for it. And we're going to be giving a full review, benchmarks, cameras, all that sort of good stuff. We'll be breaking these down into individual videos, so be sure to look for them. And we'll also be doing versus comparisons. We'll be comparing these with the iPhone 5S, 5C, HTC One, Motos, you name it. We've got it. So be sure to give us a like and subscribe to us. Also, check out our good friends at AT&T.com. That's AT&T.com with the fastest download and upload speeds. We love their phones, and thanks to them for sharing these phones with us. Let's check it out right now. Okay, so let's get into some of the specs on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. What we're looking at is the OS is 4.3 from Android, and your dimensions are 5.95 inches in height, 3.12 inches in width, and 0.33 inches in thickness. It's got a weight of 5.93 ounces, almost 6 ounces, and for you in the metric nations, 168 grams. The physical size of the screen is 5.7 inches, 1080p resolution, 1080 by 1920 pixels screen size, 386 ppi, which is your pixels per inch, Super AMOLED screen at 16.7 million colors. The battery is a 3200 milliamp hour battery. That's a huge battery. It's got a super fast, brand new Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 chip in it. These are the new 800 lines with a quad core, 2.3 gigahertz, Kraut 400 in it. One thing it's got that's really unique is 3 gigabytes of RAM. Very few phones have that, if any, I think, on the market right now. 32 gigabytes of built-in storage, and we'll take a micro SD up to 64 gigabytes of expandable memory at the back. The camera is 13 megapixels, and of course you can do 1080p camcorder video on it. The one thing you can also do, which is pretty freaking amazing, is you can do 4K video at 30 frames per second, and you can do 1080p at 60 frames per second. So that's pretty darn awesome. You could actually film 4K video on this. Front-facing camera is 2 megapixels, and then, of course, it has NFC technology, a whole mess of other great goodies that they have taken and put into this. Okay, so let's get into the Note 3. Now, it's a very beautiful design. I can see that there are some people this might be too big for. I have 9-inch span hands, very man hands, and so I find it very comfortable to deal with. I love having a big screen. It's awesome for gaming or for watching movies or YouTube videos, whatever your thing is you like to do. It gives you a huge amount of space to take and work in and everything else. So let's take a walk around the body and see what's on it. You've got a few sensors up front here, front-facing camera, your speaker for your calls, and down here you have your home button, and you have a capacitive touchscreen area for your menu and your back button that you can take and have. Across the back, let's take a look at the back. Now they have this faux leather back. There's been some people that are like, oh my god, it's faux leather, how silly. I actually like it. I like it a lot better than the normal backs that have been on the Samsung Galaxies. It shows less fingerprints, and it feels pretty comfortable, and it's easier to hold. Doesn't want to slip out of your hands as much. The faux leather does fool your brain a bit, and it feels very comfortable and almost like leather, and doesn't smell like leather. That's kind of nice. But I like it. I don't have any problems with the fact that it's faux leather in its look and feel. You have your new design that they put with this, where they have the flash and the lamp in a different position than they had normally on the Galaxies, and they have a nice setup here, especially where it's kind of lifted up and protected. I love how the camera eye and setup is on the Note 3. Very impressed with that. You can see here the little pen that we'll get to here at the bottom. Now, of course, across the back of the Samsung Note 3, you have the pull-off back, again with the thin sheet of plastic. You have a humongous battery. Look at the size of this battery. This is a 3200 milliamp hour battery. Just incredible. And even with all the speed and everything else that goes into this, it takes a little while just to burn through and all that good stuff. And you can see up here, they have a new thing with the micro SD card. where they have the slot for it piggybacked on top of the SIM card. So this is the area where you can insert your micro SD card, and that used to be separate, but it's all in one place now, which is pretty freaking cool. Takes up some of the space and real estate that normally is on the back, and all that good stuff. So you've got the switch out battery, which is nice to have. I actually go to Amazon and buy extra special flip-in batteries so that I can just flip in on the go and get it on. Let's start at the bottom. We've got the pen. Now, one thing that also is very incredible, I'm very impressed with on the Note 3 is this speaker. The speaker is a monster speaker. It's very loud, it's very powerful. It's better than having this old speaker on the back that the Samsung Galaxies have. I freaking love it. You can see a small microphone hole here. Now, some people have been thrown by this. This is a special micro USB dual port channel. What it allows you to do is, using the cabling that comes with the Note 3, is you can plug this into USB 3.0 outputs. Now you can also plug them into USB 2.0, which is why there's two holes here. This makes it great because you can charge a whole lot faster. Plus, you can take in sync your data and transfer videos and files, especially if you're recording at 4K. Much faster on USB 3.0 than on 2.0. Now, what's great here is if you forget your cable or lose your cable, you can still plug in a micro USB to this bigger side jack here, and it will charge just fine. It will charge it much slower. Now, one thing I loved about the Note 3 is it's got this beautiful design. It used to just kind of have this kind of silly, rounded, plasticky edge. Now it's got this beautiful kind of cut design with these little edges inside. It looks a little bit more elegant. It's all squared off. I like how the build is, and it feels more comfortable and less plasticky to me, if you will. You can, of course, see here the volume rocker button here on the left side. Down the top, we have your earphone jack, a small microphone hole, and we have the IR blaster. So the great thing about the Note 3 is you can control your remote control devices through an IR blaster, etc., if they work. Now you've got your power button here, and I haven't figured out what this little hole is that's in the corner here. I assume maybe it might be an extra microphone hole button, or maybe it interacts with the pen in some way. I really don't know, but it's very interesting. Now the pen is really cool. They've taken and done with the pen. They've had there's a little thing here that you can take and click on, and they give you plenty of extra styluses that you can replace the styluses here on the S Pen, if you will. And of course, you can program the S Pen a whole lot of different ways with it, which is very interesting. I really like the S Pen. Normally, I don't use the S Pen previously in the Note 2. I actually forget that it's there. But they've added several nuances that are really cool. They've added this little thing that comes up, you can see here, and it offers you several different things you can take and do. You have the action memo, where you can make a quick action memo if you want. You have the scrapbooker, where basically I can take and circle or write on anything in the screen, and it will put it into a scrapbook for me. So if I'm, watching a video, or maybe I'm taking in, I'm looking at a website and I want to take and do something, I can take and just circle something, and it will automatically save it into a scrapbook where I can take and have that information for me for a later date. One of the other things that's really cool is they have something called Screen Write, of course, so I can write on the screen. I'm not going to show you, that's pretty obvious. You also have S Finder, where you can easily go into searches that you may have done recently and find stuff. The other thing that actually is my favorite that I thought that was just so cool is called Pen Window. And this is freaking amazing. I can draw a window of any size anywhere on the screen, and I can take and do stuff. Now watch this. This is pretty cool. So let's just pick a place up here. Okay? And now what my options are, I can have calculator, clock, phone, YouTube, contacts, chat on. I can have internet or hangouts right here in this area that I control where it's going to go. So let's play a video for fun and play a video in this area. And then the cool thing is I can create multiple ones of these to take a window on top of each other. And then also I can take and expand them if I want to, and I can make them smaller and all that good stuff. I haven't mastered the how to get them smaller part. But you can make them smaller, you can flip them around, you can make them very minimalized. Let's see if we can't do that. We'll flip between the two and see if we can't get one. We'll go ahead and make one really quick so you can see what I mean. And then let's see, we'll make a YouTube video. And then I can make this smaller, and you see it will ride right there on the screen. Pretty cool. I can even move it around if it's in my way and all that good stuff. And then when I want to pull it open, there it is. And you can tell I'm able to move the whole thing around and all that good stuff. And of course I have the ability to close it. Pretty freaking neat. Show me how I can do that on an iPhone. I really don't get when people who have iPhones say that Samsung isn't the most innovative and that Apple is. Show me that on an iPhone as to how that works. Now, there's several other things, of course, that you can do with this. You've got the quick menu where you can take and do different adjustments. But you can see here some of the things that came with the Samsung S4 that were introduced, and S3, and et cetera, et cetera. So what we have is we have multi-window you can take and do. Multi-window is very cool, where you can have multi-windows being put onto the screen, and you can pull them open side by side. You got screen mirroring, where you can mirror the screen with TVs, things of that nature. Hands-free mode, where the thing will talk to you and all that good stuff. Airplane mode, of course, most people are familiar with. You've got Smart Stay. Smart Stay is really cool, where it will watch your eye as to what you're doing. Smart Pause, where if you turn away from the camera, it will take and or turn away from the screen while you're watching a video, it will pause the video. Smart Scroll, where you will take and watch your eyes, and you can scroll up and down based upon your eyes or based upon tilting the device if you click this twice. You have Air View, where you can hover over the screen, and in certain apps you can get it to do stuff, and you can see blow-ups of different things, sometimes blow-ups of pictures, etc., etc. You've got Air Gesture, where you can do different air gestures to answer the phone, hang up the phone without having to even touch the phone, etc., etc. Something they've added now is called Reading Mode. Reading Mode is where they optimize the screen for reading. And it's only available in certain applications. So very interesting there. Now, of course, the great thing about the Samsung Galaxy is, just like most Androids, it does have an infinite scrolls, we like to call it. And you can also add different widgets. You can see the widgets here on your screen and make it very functional and customized. Many people really like that sort of feature with the Android product, if you will. And of course, it's running the latest of Android, I believe Android 4.3, that's on the Samsung Galaxy Note. One other thing that we wanted to mention that was really, really, really freaking cool is they came with a new feature on the Samsung Note 3 that's basically a magazine feature. And just by swiping up from the bottom, this integrates with Flipboard, if you're familiar with the Flipboard app. And basically, you can program in not only news that you might want to take and have, you can have personal items such as your calendar, your chat on, your gallery, your S notes, your scrapbooks, your videos put onto this screen. You can also choose between what's going on here and now, movies, sports, daily videos, things of that nature, things that are local to you. But you can also add different social accounts that you may have. You can see here Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, Flickr, Renren, Sina, Weeblo for our Chinese friends, 500px, Tumblr, and YouTube, where you can include each of these into your social feed, and you can even change the order and what information is presented there. But it's really cool because you can just very quickly, with a swipe up, get into the news of the day, and it looks like it wants to fight me on this, so let's see if we can't get into it, and we'll go back to news. There we go. And also, you have this drop-down area where you can easily, while you're reading the news, get into your email, your camera, your phone, Google+. You can even get into the internet, and let's see what we have here, your apps. So very cool, where you can be reading your news in the morning on your screen here. Let's see if I can't reactivate that from the home screen we need to be into to use it. And you can do all this cool stuff. So I really like it. It's very neat, and you can easily get into your news and read about stuff, and it's all Flipboard related, which is great. Integrates with your Flipboard account. So I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the camera on the Samsung Note 3. It's very impressive, and it's got some really cool features that make it very, very unique. This is one of the new 2.3 gigahertz Qualcomm 800 Snapdragon processors. Now, what comes with that is 4K video technology, the ability to record in 4K video. Now, 4K is coming. Sony's putting a lot of investment into it. You see 4K videos now with the GoPro video series. So let's take a look at what we have. Now, of course, 13 megapixel camera, which is a pretty awesome camera on it. I've been very impressed that you can see different videos we've done with all the different Samsung cameras, etc., etc. And this has the same sort of great camera that's in it. You can see here we have different effects that you can take and add on to your shots, where you'll see them in real-time effects for whatever you want to take and do. It does have a zoom, so if you want to zoom in and out 4 times, you can do that also. You can switch up here between your front and back camera. Looks like it took a picture on us. And we'll go back to the camera. And so you can switch between those two here. You can switch between different modes here. You've also got different settings you can take and do. Some other modes that you have, you can switch between auto, beauty face, best photo, best face, sound and shot, drama shots where you can take multiple pictures at once, animated photo where you can create photos that move, golf photos, rich tone HDR photos, eraser photos where you can erase people out of them, panorama photos, surround shot. This is pretty cool. 360-degree pictures in a spherical panorama shot. How's that for neat? Sports pictures of fast movements, and of course we're back to auto once again. So different things that you can take and choose from in the modes. You've got your button here for clicking for taking a picture and video. Now, and the settings are pretty rich, much like most of the Android settings are. They go pretty deep. You can adjust your flash. You can even control this thing to where you can speak to it, etc., where you can give it commands like take a picture or cheese, things of that nature. You've got smart stabilization too that's on here. You've got the be able to take pictures saying, like we mentioned, smile, cheese, capture, shoot, record videos. You can say record video. That can be very nice, because what people don't realize is a lot of times you'll get focused on a picture and you press the screen to take the picture or the button, and that will throw it off. You can also choose between some of the recording modes, normal, limit for MMS, slow motion, fast motion, and a new thing called smooth motion. You also got different sharing you can do, share shots, share with buddies, share chat-ons, remote viewfinders, etc., etc. So full control. These are some of the quick controls you can do. And you can also do several other things. You can change your photo sizes up. You can have what's called burst mode, where you can take several pictures. Tap to take pictures. You can turn that on and off. Face detection, metering, ISO changes you can make in certain modes, smart stabilization, rich tone only, etc., etc. What's cool here is in the video mode, we can actually change video sizes. Now, if you notice here, here's 1080p video and much lower going on down if you want to make small videos that you can send to friends much easier over email or MMS. But here we have 4K video. You can actually record in 4K. What's really nice about this 4K is the 4K is 30 frames per second. Now, the GoPro that's currently on the market only does 15 frames per second, so this is really cool that it does 30 frames per second. What's even cooler is the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 at 1080p will do 60 frames per second, which is really freaking awesome in getting you great, beautiful video. We've seen that in the Moto X, and the videos just great on it. 60 frames per second just gives you a better, richer video in my mind. You can change different things: location tag, review, volume key, zoom key, timer, white balance, exposure value, etc., etc. You can see all these different things that take place with this. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the pictures that we got. Okay, so the pictures that we took with the Samsung Note 3 are just amazing. It takes beautiful, full color, very vivid, just awesome pictures. I love the new way they set up the camera on the back, where it's got the flash in a different place and it's kind of a little bit more protected and stuff. Pictures are just amazing, beautiful, just very rich pictures that I'm very impressed with. In fact, this is probably going to become a camera I'm going to use a lot, especially with the 4K video that's on it. You can see here just really, really great, incredible pictures. Now this is most of these pictures you're seeing here, like this one here, were actually taken in the shade of the evening, so we didn't have really sunlight hitting this directly. So just a note to some of these pictures, seeing some of these here, these were just shot in the shade. Now here's some of the video. I believe this is 1080p video that we shot of it. You'll be able to see that it takes really, really good, beautiful video. Really excellent quality and great pictures, etc., etc. You can see here we're operating in the shade, of course. Of course, when you see the video comparisons we're going to be doing them with other phones and comparing the videos side by side. This is taken in the evening where we're getting a lot of sun blast. And then we have, you're not going to notice much difference, but we'll play for you the 4K video. In fact, you're technically not really going to notice a difference, especially coming through another camera of 4K. We upload these to YouTube, where you can upload your 4K and be able to watch it. You, of course, aren't going to quite see it in 4K, but at least you're recording beautiful images that someday you're going to remember and hope to enjoy. One of the things that I've had some people say, well, 4K really doesn't matter because no one has 4K TVs anymore. Well, my dogs are on the last few years of their lives. I would like to record them in 4K so that when I do get 4K and they're gone, I'll be able to enjoy that. And 4K is probably a good year away from most people's budgets anyway. So it's closing in very fast. Now, this is a photo taken inside a completely dark room with no light, and the object of this exercise is to get the camera to flash, find its focus, and do well. The flash that's on the new Note 3 is incredibly impressive, as is the lamp. So you can see here we got a really great photo out of it. We also got a really good video out of it. This is complete darkness. The lamp is incredible. If I didn't mention that before, which I did, it's just an incredible, super bright lamp that they put on the Note 3. Just very, very impressive. You can see here, I almost got the whole room lit up like you would with a light. Here's another picture that we're taking complete and utter darkness. And you can see here we took a great picture. It picked up a lot of different stuff in the room. The flash on this thing is just incredible on what it's able to capture. This is in complete darkness, so the flash is activating and of course finding focus. You can see the lines of the door fairly well, etc., etc. Over here, this is a video taken with the lamp. Not quite as good, and this is a big room, keep in mind, so trying to light up this whole area isn't quite as great. So the lamp will work in very short, small settings, as most lamps do with all mobile phones. I mean, you're just not going to get that great of a video with the lamp, especially if you're trying to light up a whole room. You really need to buy a professional lamp for that sort of thing. But very, very, very impressed with the photos and the camera on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, especially the 4K video portion of it. That's just freaking awesome. So now what we're going to do is run you guys through a number of benchmarks. Now we know that these benchmarks were targeted and covered by amzn.to. Basically, they found that lines of code in the Note 3 very specifically, and some of it in the European S4, were targeting benchmarking apps to increase the processor speed, CPU output during the recognized benchmarking apps being run. Basically cheating and fudging. Now they found actually a lot of other Androids are doing this, and it's widely suspected the Apples are too. So I suppose if everyone's cheating, they all know that there's a game that's being played here and they're all trying to win at it. So take it for what it's worth. The cheating was reported to be anywhere from 0 to 5%, and in rare cases 5 to 10%. So if you want to take these numbers and lop 5 or 10% off them, you can still see they're pretty incredible numbers. 920 is a single core score for Geekbench 3 that we came up with on the Samsung. 2845 routinely goes up to 3000. Looks like we've got some activity that's gone on in the background, so that may have dragged down. 3000 seems to be a good average for it. And of course, you know, there's so much things going on in the background about all these devices. You never can get a clean run. You can see here it's a 2.27 gigahertz 4-core processor. and we'll go down through the memory. You can see these individual numbers. Some people like to see these. I really don't care, but if this is your thing, you can do that. The great thing about these apps and why I play them for you is you can follow along at home. You can download them to your current device, and you can take and see how your particular device matches up to these devices. And of course, you can maybe get a good idea as to which of these devices you may want to upgrade to. So there you have it. Okay, so this is the amzn.to benchmark app, and of course, these are the folks who discovered the fudging, the cheating that was going on where the benchmarking was getting jacked up. This is the original app that they use on the Android. We're going to show you this number, and then we're going to show you the cheating apps number. So 34,695. You can see some of the breakdowns of the multitask, the Dalvik, etc., all the way down to the I/O storage and how they take and do things. Now, they've come out with an app that basically is supposed to get around the cheating, beat the cheating, and give you the real results. So let's take a look at that at this time, and that way you can kind of see both and see the comparative numbers and all that good stuff between the two. So this says you're now running the amzn.to Benchmark X Edition. Please update in time to prevent fraud and cheating away from the benchmarking. So from my understanding is this shows us what the true numbers are without the benchmarking fudge. You can see here not much difference in the thing. Once again, it was maybe 0 to 5%, in some cases as high as 10%. Well, you got 30,841. You can see the results that we got on the new test from amzn.to. Here we have the Ice Storm Unlimited score. This is from the app 3D Mark app, and it's a pretty good app. It measures the CPU and everything else. The score came in at 18,627, graphics score 19,980, physics score 15,058, graphics test 104 frames per second, 74.6 frames per second for graphics test 2, physics test 47.8 frames per second. Okay, so here we have the benchmark and tuning app. You can find this in the Android store. The device came in with a score of 39,327. Take that for what you will and deduct any percentage of cheating or fudging that you want, 5 to 10%, whatever's up to you in your mind. Okay, this is what we call the billion counter test, and fudging or not, I got to tell you, this thing has the fastest count to a billion CPU process that I've ever seen, and it's pretty amazing. I don't think I've seen any phone that's counting this fast. Even if it is fudged, it's pretty amazing. So this measures how well the device can count to a billion, and it does it in 9.984 seconds. Usually about 10 seconds is the average that we're seeing on this. That's huge. When I started reviewing phones a couple years ago, the average was close to a minute, and then it got down in the 35-second range. Wow, now it's down to 10 seconds. Okay, so here we have the CF Bench Pro version 1.3 numbers. And you can see here the scores that we took and got with this. We know this was targeted by some of the coding for cheating the numbers, so you can take it for what it's worth. You can see here the overall scores came in at 34,403 overall, Java 32,249, and native score 37,634. Definitely a credible performance put out by the device. Here we have the GFX Bench 2.7.2 off-screen test. Came in at 1461 frames at 26 frames per second. The on-screen test came in at 2.7 T-Rex HD 1467 frames at 26 frames per second. Here we have the KFS Benchmark app test. This tests a lot of frames per second. The overall score came in at 41.438 frames per second. Okay, so here we have the Passmark Performance Benchmark test that you can take and do with the app. And you can see here our system scored 4345 overall. And you can see the breakdown of some of the numbers. The CPU test, we came in at 15,420. Disk test, 15,020. And memory test, 4455, 2D graphics test 3819, and 3D graphics test 1237. Okay, this is the quadrant standard test. You can see here the results are just monstrous coming out of the Note 3. Of course, it's comparing to the 1X, which is actually a pretty older phone. The device came at 2,775. On the CPU, we came at 76,306. Memory 16,589, I/O 8214, 2D 500, and 3D 2266. Here we have the RL Benchmark SQL Lite performance test. This tests a number of inserts and indexes and all sorts of good stuff. In the end, our overall score came in at 12 seconds, 12.733. There you go. Here you can see the Velamo scores. We know this is targeted in the coding of the increased CPU processor. You can see here the scores came in at 2889 for the HTML5 score and Metal 1232 for the HTML score. Pretty interesting details and results that they take and got there on the scores and really kick butt. So you can see that. Let's see if we can get the top scores here. And it's showing HTC One X. I'm not sure what the exact scores they're going to give us here, but you can see the Velamo scores and how they pan out. Okay, folks, so there you have it. The review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Pretty awesome phone. I love it. Even tastes great. So be sure to check out all the other videos we're doing, the video comparisons. Our good friends at amzn.to, fastest download and upload speeds. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe to us, and watch the next video.